Good afternoon. My name is Dominique De La Rosa, and I want to explain to you all about the Next Generation Science Standards. As I first began my journey to become a teacher at the University of Redlands, I saw the Next Generation Science Standards and was very intimidated by it. But this shouldn't be the case. And hopefully with my help and this talk, we're able to take the standards and make it seem not as scary. According to Cindy Wardsky and Tim Willard in their article, Answering Teachers' Questions, the Next Generation Science Standards, I was able to decipher the code that is NGSS. According to them, there are 4 major components to the Next Generation Science Standards. The first component is going to be the code or the title of the standard itself. The second component is going to be the performance expectations. The performance expectations are going to list what the student should know by the end of our lab. The third is going to be the connection box. The connection box is going to take Common Core standards and let us know how and what applies to the Next Generation Science Standard. Last, the fourth component is going to be the foundation box. The foundation box is made up of 3 different dimensions, and it's very colorful. The first is going to be the science and engineering part. This part can be displayed in blue. The second is going to be the disciplinary core, which can be displayed in orange. And last is cross-cutting concepts, which is displayed in green. Simply put, the foundation box explains further what the performance expectation should be. Again, this is what the students should know by the end of our lab. Anne-Marie Sullivan explained in her article, The Next Generation Science Standards and Common Core State Standards, that these both can be intertwined and exist just like a happy marriage. According to her, we should look at the standards and the dimensions and see how they can be applied directly to Common Core. For example, students can take the texts that they learn about and they can annotate them. That way they're able to go ahead and decipher text and understand it completely and apply it to what they're trying to explain and what they're trying to find answers for. As they go ahead and develop Common Core ideas, we want to make sure that the goal is for them to understand the answer to a broad fundamental concept. We also want to go ahead and make sure that they fully understand what they're learning. We don't want them to just spit out random facts or something they just found. We want them to understand it, and by being hands-on and doing experiments and research, they'll be able to do that. As Anne-Marie explained herself in the article, NGSS can support close, attentive reading. According to Kent L. Huff in his article, Addressing 3 Common Myths of the Next Generation Science Standards, there's a lot of misconceptions about NGSS. Let's break those down and debunk them. The first myth is going to be that Common Core already covers everything that Next Generation Science Standards cover. This is not true. Common Core plays especially in English, plays a direct link to reading. While reading is an important aspect of the Next Generation Science Standards, the NGSS focuses more on being hands-on in the classroom. We want the students to be real-life scientists and explore and research that. Also, the other myth is going to be that just by giving the students a hands-on experiment, we're doing NGSS. This isn't the case either. We want to make sure that the kids are still reading. We want them to also be able to take their arguments and talk about it. We want them to have educated discussions about what they're learning and explain it to their classmates and to us and their parents. The third and the final myth is that the NGSS is limiting to us teachers. This is the furthest from the truth. As Huff explained, we should look at the Next Generation Science Standards as the floor to the blueprint of our lesson plans. It should not be a ceiling that limits us in any way. Mary and Russ Cullen explained in their article, Planning NGSS-Based Instruction, Where Do I Start?, that the key to the NGS standards are authentic scientific research. This means that the students should be real-life scientists inside the classroom, and they should mirror real-life scientists outside of the classroom. This means that they should be able to ask any kinds of questions that they want. By them asking questions, it could be intimidating because us teachers might not know the answers to that, and that can be scary. But Just like you and I are learning how to be teachers, we can also learn with our students inside of the classroom how to be scientists. Thank you and good luck. You got this.